Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this episode of the Dan Dawson Show. So, what I usually do is I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, I scroll through YouTube, I scroll through Microsoft News, Google News, all these news channels, right? Just seeing what's going on in the world today. And I came across this video. It's called, Black people speak out against Black Lives Matter. But that's not the topic of today's episode. The topic is I'm watching that video. It's posted on my Facebook. So if you're not on my Facebook, you'll get, if you go to my Facebook, The Dan Dawson Show, you'll get episodes and clips and stuff that aren't on my YouTube channel. But I do not post my YouTube videos on my Facebook site because Facebook is just too anti-conservative. They don't want the truth out there. They will block you. They will take down your channel. So I just pretty much post articles and videos from other sites on my Facebook. But I was watching that video, and Denzel said something that I've said before, and it caught me. You know how somebody says just catches you? He he's talking about the men in his life. He's talking about the culture. Because, see, honestly, black people, we need a culture change. We got to get rid of the Cardi B's and the T.I.'s and the Snoop Dogs who lead us down a bad direction, propping up gang life and killings. But Denzel said the men in his life were strong and gentle. I was like, I've posted that in the video before. The men who raised me, my father, all three of my grandfathers, were strong but gentle men. And it reminded me of a lion with his cubs. You see lions play with their cubs, right? You've of course seen it on Animal Channel and stuff like that. And they're gentle with their cubs. But let anybody come near those cubs and it's lights out. And that honestly reminded me of the men in my life, the men who raised me. Very gentle men with their grandkids, their kids, their grandkids. Maybe not so much with the kids if they're boys. You got to be harder on boys. It is what it is. So, but very strong with the women and kids and grandkids in their life. And it struck me that not every man, not every black man, not every white man, if you're Mexican, has had that opportunity. So I was thinking, well, where can I go with that with a show topic? Because when something catches me like that, I really want to make it a show topic because I want to get out there and share it. And I decided to go with, it's not about the men in your life at this age. If you're my age and you're 46, about to be 47 in a couple of weeks, it's not about the men who were in your life. You're already formed. Luckily, I was formed by good, strong, gentle men. Not everybody has that opportunity. But what I would encourage people to do is to become that good, strong, gentle man. Isn't that funny how that lines up? Gentle man with gentleman. Isn't it funny how that lines up? But be that man. Be loving and caring to your kids, your grandkids, your neighbors. The only time I've told you on here before, the only time I even heard any of my grandfathers or my father raise their voice is if you disrespected the women in their life, then you were in some trouble because the lion came out. So what I would encourage men to do is keep that lion intact. Never let it get far away. Play with your cubs. Love your cubs. Show them love. There's nothing wrong with that. My father and all three of my grandfathers, my two natural grandfathers and my step-grandfather. And I only use that in this context because I never considered my step-grandfather. He was my grandpa. My grandpa Wood. He was my grandpa. That's just how it was. But be that man. Be that man that builds that empire. Because see, how we treat our kids is how they're going to learn to treat their kids. And I know, because remember, I was a single parent when the chips were down, I didn't bail on my daughter. I stayed there. I was gentle with her. I raised my daughter. And when I say a single parent, I don't mean a single parent. Your grandparents, or your parents live down the street to help with you with the kid. The ex is cool and helps you with the kid, or at least pays child support. No, my ex moved to Los Angeles and didn't pay a penny of child support for 14 years. So, but because those men raised me, and the way their influence touched me, made me unconsciously be the dad I was. It's my daughter. I'm never giving up on my daughter. We're going to walk through everything we got to walk through. I'm always going to support her. It is what it is. But you have to get that mentality. And if you don't have that mentality, if you weren't raised by those kind of men, honestly, be that kind of man. Even if you got to YouTube it. Even if you have to fake it. Because it's not your natural, if it's not your natural personality. Be that person. Because that kid is going to raise their kids like you raised them. So you're creating an empire. All three of my grandfathers are dead. And have been dead for... Grandpa Wood was the last one to go. Grandpa Allen and Grandpa Pitt have been dead for decades. Grandpa Pitt died when I was 14. I still speak about that man like he was a king. Because that's the influence he left on me. And that's the influence we should leave on our kids. So thank you for watching this episode of the Dan Dawson Show. Go on Facebook, check out that video. Pay close attention to what Denzel said, because that's what grabbed me. Or if somebody sent on there grabs you, let me know in the comments below. Remember, like, subscribe. Do what you got to do.